To a Navy pilot, his first landing on a carrier is a challenge. And when the challenge is successfully met, there's a real feeling of accomplishment. And this feeling persists even after several hundred landings. Obviously, carrier operations do impose various different responses and requirements than land-based operations. But these conditions also offer certain advantages. The ship is moving away from the pilot as he approaches, and his closure rate on the ship is some 30 knots less than ashore. So he has more time to make corrections in his approach. His glide slope is shallower. There is seldom a crosswind. When he touches down, he is not concerned with stopping his aircraft. The arresting gear does the job. And if problems develop, the crash crew is standing by. As his experience increases, the pilot begins to feel that trapping aboard a carrier is preferable in many ways to landing ashore. Still, even with this confidence, backed by growing experience and accumulated skill, accidents do happen. The result is a tremendous waste of human life and material resources. More than half of all Navy aircraft accidents occur during shipboard operations. In many cases, the fault lies with the pilot. These accidents can be prevented by naval aviators who understand what causes mishaps and the actions required to avoid them. All accidents, except those involving materiel failures, can be prevented or the consequences minimized. In this film, we've included accidents recorded on carrier flat systems. The film quality is not outstanding, but the action illustrates the necessity for constant alertness on the part of the naval aviator in all phases of carrier operations. First, let's see what can happen at the catapult. Make sure you use the catapult grip and friction lock. The friction lock holds the throttle at full power, so your throttle hand is free to retract the landing gear after you're airborne. Some pilots fail to maintain the proper attitude off the bow. Consequently, they settle below flight deck level, sometimes into the water. In the case of an early braking holdback or bridle or launch bar failure, cut power to idle and try to stop the aircraft with brakes. If you can't stop, eject. Get out before going over the edge, while the plane is in the best attitude for ejection. On a soft cat shot, if your end speed is below minimum for your weight and configuration, eject while you can still hold the nose up. Realize that in these days of highly reliable catapults, most soft shots are pilot caused by accepting an improper weight on the weight board. Know your minimum airspeed and set your bug. Blowing a tire on the catapult is generally no problem on launch. Have the landing gear inspected by another aircraft or the tower. There is always a possibility that the aircraft control systems can malfunction during a cat shot. If this happens, try to regain control, but realize you have very little altitude and airspeed to work with. The arresting gear, like all mechanical devices, has also been known to fail. If the arresting cable breaks or the arresting engine fails during rollout, you may be faced with an ejection situation. If this happens to you, you'll notice that you're essentially taxiing at a high speed toward the end of the angle. Before reaching the end of the flight deck, eject. Generally, if you feel any deceleration, the gear has already slowed you below flying speed. Accidents can also occur in taxiing. On the deck, close teamwork is vital between the pilot and the director. The pilot must react immediately to the director's signals. If you're not responsive to the director, if you taxi too fast, if you're using too much power, if you miss a turn, the result can be a crunch or an aircraft over the side. Some pilots fly how they feel instead of relying on the ball. The meatball should be your main point of reference as you scan the entire landing situation. An experienced pilot knows he has to fight this urge to fly the deck. To the deck spotters, the deck looks high, so they settle. Next time it looks too low, and they may not catch the compensating climb in time. Sometimes they wind up on the ramp, or with a hard landing, or bolter. So keep your eye on the ball. Maintain lineup and angle of attack. Failure to observe these basic rules can be fatal. Anticipate those conditions where human failures lead to accidents, and avoid them. Follow the procedures designed for your safety and the successful achievement of your mission. Know what you should do in all situations, and when the time comes, do it without hesitation.